queens. You are the beautiful. You are the beautiful black queen. You are the beautiful. You are the beautiful black queen. Mother of the earth, the essence of life, the mother of nations, nurturer of great generation. Hi, I am EMPRESS. Wake up, my queens. You are the beautiful. You are the beautiful black queen. You are the beautiful. You are the beautiful black queen. Mother of the earth, the essence of life, the mother of nations, nurturer of great generation. Hi, I am Empress Sharon, bringing the truth of our stolen history. The mothership has landed. She is your modern-day Noah's Ark, bringing knowledge and understanding of your lost past. Get ready for enlightenment with eyes can see.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in today to another edition of Eyes Can See. Let's start off with prayer to bless this message, that it may go forth into the ears of the hearer, that it may enlighten our hearts and the thoughts of our minds so that we can understand and know what has happened to our people group, African Americans, you indigenous black Indians who were here as early as 721 BC, and the transatlantic slave trade descendants. Something has happened to us, and we are here to find out what that something is. Thank you, Father, for giving me the pictures that you've given me to show our people of our illustrious past that we were a people of great substance once before. They said that we had no contribution to society, but we see that we ran societies. So thank you, Father, for giving me this platform to teach our people of who they were and whose they are, and how and that you're coming back to redeem us from the situation that we find ourselves in today. So thank you, Heavenly Father, in Yeshua's mighty name. And we're going to go forth with Isaiah 61, 1 through 3. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, for the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, and to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our God, and to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. And as I keep telling you guys, we are the planting of the Lord, because he sent us and he scattered us into the four corners of the world. And we are planted wherever we were scattered to, that he might be glorified from what he has sent us into you all. Okay, so the topic of the day is the future of America, you all. So let's go with what President Biden is doing about, this war, how he's helping, the people of Ukraine, and also what he's doing in America to try to prepare for them, so that they can come here. So, there's this thing called Title 42 that Donald Trump put into law, with one of his people, his advisors, Stephen Miller. It's called Title 42 is called the Stephen Miller special. Okay? And why it's called the Stephen Miller special? Because he came up with this thing during COVID, y'all. And because of COVID, that was a way to say, okay, well, we don't want certain groups of people in America. They can't come because we have an epidemic going on here. We have to protect those who are here in our country. So no, we're going to close our borders under Title 42, and if they do come into our country, then, we're going to keep them in a containment system, and then we're going to ship them out back to their countries. Well, that's wrong. It's illegal. And the way America was set up, with the Statue of Liberty, she's blind. She says, come all, you're welcome here. You're protected under our laws. If something's going on in your country where you can't stay, you're being abused, you're being, harm is coming to you, you're going to be killed, you can come here, for asylum, and we will help you, but under this thing that Stephen Miller, came up with, Title 42, which is a ban, where, people can't come, well, just say the people they don't want here cannot come, that they will have to be shipped out. Take that 14,000 Haitian, refugees. They came here and were expelled within a week, y'all. Within a week. These people were accosted by men on horsebacks, being whipped. Who whipped somebody? That come from the days of slavery, y'all. Come on now. They didn't whip those Afghans, did they? They didn't make them go back to their land, did they? And even, some of the Russians that are escaping their country, they came through Mexico. And some of them are waiting at the border of Mexico. And some have gotten into our country. But I don't see them being whipped, y'all. So come on. It's like it's good for their people, when they come into our borders are open to those whom they, deem as the proper people that they want to come into this country. Just like Donald Trump said it out loud. He said, he called, our nations, melanated nations, shithole countries, y'all. He said what they did not say out loud, but what they feel in their hearts. Donald Trump had the nerve, the gall to say this. He said just what everybody else was feeling, but did not have the nerve like he did to say. So this is how they really feel about our melanated people. And this is why, they can use certain bans like Title 42 to keep melanated people out. But, Biden is going to lift that ban, because he wants to bring in 100,000 Ukrainians, y'all. Okay? I don't get this. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if it affects me, it's got to affect you too. You can't have two separate laws, y'all. Okay? I mean, if you don't want me here, they can't come either. Because it's supposed to be fair. Statue of Liberty got that blindfold on her eyes, y'all. Come on. I mean, that's Justice. That's Lady Justice has got the blindfold on her eyes. Not the Statue of Liberty. But I'm just saying that the Statue of Liberty has the light in her hand, the torch in her hand, and she's saying, come on, y'all, come on. This is the land of protection. This is the land where you want to be. But that's not how it really, pans out for people of color. People of color have to suffer because, they are not the right skin tone. So, and these Ukrainian people say that they are Jewish. That's another thing, So, if they're Jewish, then Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68 is associated with them being Jewish, y'all. Come on. That Yahweh is the one who chose his people. His people didn't choose him. They didn't just wake up and say, oh, we're the people of God. We choose him. And make him, do for us. No. He chose us out of all the families of the earth. Okay? So, our people became lawbreakers, covenant breakers, y'all. And he said, at a certain point in time, he was going to put his day of punishment on us. Our story is in the Bible, y'all. The Bible confirms everything that we have gone through and everything that we will go through, y'all. So by these people coming up saying, oh, I'm Jewish, I'm this, I'm that, y'all, Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68 has to apply to them too. So they're not suffering, just for the sake of suffering. No, you got to suffer just like we've been suffering these 400 years, okay? We have been eating the bread of adversity, y'all. Okay? So, if we got to eat it, they got to eat it too. They can't be the head, who suffers nothing, who gets the joy of wearing our name. No, you got to take this butt whooping too. And that brings me to, what's his name? Hitler, y'all. Now, Hitler wanted to come up with a perfect race of people, y'all. So he stole the children of the Polish children from their parents, killed their parents. And some of them, they weren't killed, but they had to go away to camps and different things, They were separated from their children. And this was another time in history where they erased these children's identity so that they could give them a German identity. They wanted to make a race of people that was superior. Superior? Okay, so man now, because Hitler is a man, under the authority of Satan, wanted to come up with a pure race of people, y'all. God chose his people. Man can't choose no people. But Hitler wanted to promote this idea of his perfect race throughout the world. Y'all, he wanted to take over the world and institute his idea of a perfect people. That's how white supremacy came about, y'all. Okay? And that's why we suffer, for being a melanated people with woolly hair. But what does the Bible say about Yahweh, how he looks? What does it say about Yeshua, how he looks? What does it say about the angels, how they look? All of them are described with feet like burning brass, eyes with a flame of fire, hair white as wool, like wool. Come on, that don't suggest Caucasian people, y'all. Come on, y'all. We got to put this thing together. And then getting back to Hitler, because that's how this idea of what Putin is floating on, how he wants to take over the world, and how he wants to, subject everybody to their train of thought that they are the mighty people, that they are the chosen people or whatever, I don't know where these people come up with these ideas, because if God did not choose them, how are they going to choose themselves? How are they going to say, "Oh, I'm the leader. I'm this, I'm that." You ain't got God's blessing on this. So you're going to end up just like everybody else ended up. You're going to be a memory of the past, because Yahweh ain't having it. He already chose who he's going to choose for his children. And the only other way you get in is through the church, because that's how he chose under Yeshua, his son. Okay? But if you coming up with any other type of doctrine, you coming up with any other type of people choice, you're wrong on that one, buddy, and that ain't going to fly. Just like, getting back to Hitler, how he says that his people, his superior people, and the way that he thought about everybody else in the world, he thought about everybody else as to enslave everybody else. And then he looked at the black people. He said, "Oh, they were already slaves, so we're going to continue to make them slaves." Well, y'all need to read the Bible, because this thing was a 400-year punishment. It wasn't for, to last forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay? Everybody needs to read the Bible to find out what this is all about. This was a punishment for being covenant breakers from the people Yahweh chose out of the earth, y'all. This wasn't something for man to put on another man, to say, "Oh, well, we are the superpowers of the world and everybody else got to fall up under us, and we get to choose how the world going to be run, and our people are the superior people of the earth." Come on, y'all, it don't go like that. And they will find out it's not going to go like that. See, all of these things are Satan's thoughts. All this boils down to Satan. I told y'all, I remind you all, that Satan was kicked out of heaven. His feet walks the earth now, y'all. His feet are walking the earth. He is a man. He is in the form of man, y'all. Okay? He's in control of the principalities, spiritual darkness in wicked places, those authorities. He's in control of all of that, y'all, because he's the God of this world. 2 Corinthians 4:4 calls him the God of this world. It ain't something I'm putting on him. It's what the Bible says he is, y'all. He chose the Gentile man to rule through. That's why we got in Luke 21, chapter Luke 21, and even in verse 24, but read the whole chapter 21, y'all. How it talks about
these Gentiles will only rule for a certain period of time. Just like we'll be in captivity for a certain period of time under Yahweh's day of vengeance. But Hitler saw how the beginnings were. I showed you all of those coats of arms from yesteryear, from the medieval times, which is called the Dark Ages. And the reason it's Dark Ages is because black leadership failed. That's when the shift happened. Yahweh's day of vengeance hit us. See, it came twice. The first time it came, well, actually it came 3 times. The first time it came was back in 721 BC, when the 10 northern tribes had to be exiled out of the land. And the Assyrians brought in other people, y'all, to take their place in the land. So that's why you got people there in the land saying, oh, we've been here 2,000 years. We've been here 3,000 years. Okay, okay, but you ain't the right people. You replace the people that Yahweh chose. Okay? So he allowed them to come into Assyria, which was eventually named America. And then from there, they ventured out into South America. They ventured out into Mexico. They ventured out into all other places of the world, y'all. You can find our stone carvings everywhere in the world that we've been. You can find artifacts of where we have been, and it's carbon dated back, y'all, to the time period where the Bible says that the 10 northern tribes left with the Assyrians. That they took them, they took them captive. But they decided that they were not going to stay with the Assyrians. Okay? So, the second time was when Judah was exiled. As early as 70 AD by the Romans, y'all. And we had to leave. Our ancestors had to leave. They had to run over the mountains into the interior part of Africa. Because all this happened on the continent of Africa, y'all. We came from the oriental part of Africa. The northern central part. So come on, y'all. That's why we look like we have squinted eyes too, you know. Some of us look like we Asian because we are oriental people. We are Hebrews, y'all, that was misnamed as Canaanites. But, okay, anyway, this is our history. And our history, we can date our history back to those times. And the third time was when Yahweh's day of vengeance visited us. That's when slavery happened. That's when a change happened in America when Christopher Columbus and Amerigo Vespucci and all of those people, all of those Caucasian people, started traveling on ships and came to the New World, or newfound land, where black people already were here. They called them the copper-colored Indians, the Amerindians. They were copper-colored. 10 northern tribes, y'all. And because of Gentile rule, the black Indians became white. Just like we, the Jews, became Jewish. We're melanated, but now we white. And then they tell these stories, you know, of the people of the world. This book that states something about the people of the world. How, you know, they were white people, but because, you know, of Satan, you know, influencing the people, then they became black. Black is associated with being evil. But when Christianity came in and they found the way, then they became white again. What kind of mess is that? Who's supposed to believe that? Okay? So these are the lies that they tell about, black and white people. Well, why are we black today? And we found Christ, or actually Yeshua HaMashiach, because that's who we know him as now, since we're waking up to the truth. We were brought up on him, that his name being Jesus the Christ, right? But his name is Yeshua HaMashiach. But they say in the past how, black became white and white became black and all this other mess. It's because of sin and being evil. And evil has everything to do with, dark skin. And that's why, the people of Africa are dark skinned, because they are evil. What? Lies. From Satan. From the pit of hell, y'all. So anyway, this is what Hitler, he saw these things in Europe. He saw these things in Germany. How back in medieval times, as I said, the Dark Ages, when black people ruled, the 10 northern tribes and even Judah ruled, in Europe. They were called the Moors then, and Moor means a color, the color of your skin, not a people group. They want to associate the Moors with being Arabs or Muslims. They want to associate them being Muslims. They're not Muslims. Moor means skin color, y'all. So, anyway, he saw all this blackness all around, and there's still, carved figures and manholes in the street with melanated leaders, kings on them. The Pooshie family, their wrought iron gate is still up, and the castle that they lived in, still there. Their carvings, in their wrought iron gates. We lived in castles back then in the medieval times. They don't want to give us our props. These Gentiles don't want to give the melanated people their props. They want to always say we came from Africa and we lived in huts. When we were the first to build civilization. When we were the first mathematicians, the scientists. When we were the first at everything. They got their knowledge from us. But they don't want to give us our props. So they tell these lies, and the victor is the one who writes the story. So they wrote us out of our own history. Just as Isaiah 83:3 said so, y'all. That's how Hitler came up with this mess about a superior race. They couldn't write us out our own story because the relics of us being there is still there. The stone carvings, the metal figures. And then they want to say, oh, well, those were the slaves of the people. When you going to put a slave that's got on pearls, got a crown on her head or his head, got a pearl in his ear or her ears? Come on, y'all. Ain't a slave going to be dressed like that. So we need to know. We need to know how we got to be where we are, and how there's a double standard system going on. God ain't pleased with that. Not at all. In America, as I said, Biden can, have laws change that will accommodate a people group, the Ukrainians. But on the other hand, he allowed our vice president to handle the Haitian refugee situation, and she allowed him to get whipped from being on horseback. Are you kidding me? And she's black, partly black. I guess that was the Indian side of her that allowed that to happen, huh? But no, and that's been her track record. She has never been for the black people. I guess the black people has been a sense of shame for her, just like they lied and said, you know, we are associated with evil because of the color of our skin. That lie has come through ever since the millennial time, medieval times, when powers shifted and we no longer were in rule. But everything shifted to Gentile rule under Satan's reign. So come on, y'all. We got to know what this is. Okay? We have to know how even when we were brought into this country, what happened to us. You know, just like they saying, oh, well, the women and the children, they're over there going through, and the babies, they're suffering, and the little children got shot, you know, by the bullets and whatever, you know. Come on, y'all. Let me show you something. What about that alligator bait? Our children were fed, you know, as alligator bait, y'all. They sent our toddlers, our babies, our infants. They used them to control the alligator population in Florida, y'all. They will let these alligators come and eat these babies just so that they could lure them to their death. You think God is pleased with that? See what happened to Yahweh's chosen people. You don't think it's going to affect this world? You don't think that because these Gentile people, mothers and their babies are going through now? Look at what we went through, y'all. And then how our men were hung on trees of strange fruit. Y'all, come on. You got to know what this is. They've been trying to wipe us out ever since because they knew we started off in rulership. They know what our past is. They don't want you to know what your past is. That's why I showed you the coats of arms, the family crest of these black kings, and how they were associated with the Orthodox Christians and the Eastern leg and the Western leg of Orthodox Christians, y'all, which are the Catholic Church. Those were black men ruling then. A king and a priest had to rule together, y'all. One couldn't rule without the other. That's how Yahweh's kingdom is set up. And that's how Yahweh's kingdom will be set up when the kingdom of righteousness comes in. And we are the righteous ones. Why? Because we did nothing to no man to be treated like this by man. What we did was against Yahweh. It was not against man. So man had no business to treat us like this. Because see, in this world, in this system, everything goes by reaping and sowing. Everything goes by the heart. It's a heart matter. Love your neighbor as yourself. You know? We could have gone through slavery, but we didn't have to be treated like this. But he gave us to a people who were heartless. He gave us to a people who was like Satan. God said, Esau, I hate, but Jacob I love. Why? Because Jacob has the heart of God. But Esau has the heart of Satan. He allowed Satan to use him. So we can see where the evil comes from. I would say evil is you know, don't have melanin in them. They, you know, they are like the albino. They're without color. That would be associated with evil. Because this is the way things were. This skin complexion is how things started off. It didn't start off like this, albino. Y'all, it didn't start off without color. It started off with color. As you look at the dirt on the ground, the dirt is brown, isn't it? So we got to know the lies of Satan that we are told. So, getting back to how President Biden, is changing the rules for a certain group of people. That's not gonna fly. But even though it's Gentile rule now, it's gonna fly for just this little time that we in now. That's why we at the end of the thing, y'all. Like the scripture says, Esau's the end of a thing. So when this age is up, when Esau start ruling, it's Jacob's time to rule. That's what's coming next. It's going to be Jacob's time to rule. And we are Jacob, the melanated people. Y'all, regardless of how the lies were told, for us to believe that the people that are calling themselves by our name, and they added the ish onto it, because wasn't no ish on our names. And our name was only changed by Mordecai because our people were under attack at that time. So Mordecai changed our name in the day of Esther because Haman was against us as a people. So for us not to be killed as a nation, he changed our name from Israelite to Jew. They added the ish onto it. And then you have the church, evangelical church. See, we were the original lawgivers. We failed. We could not go and give the law as Yahweh desired for us to do. But they start giving the law. And they got it so twisted. They see in the New Testament in Romans, in that Romans 11, I think, where it talks about the being grafted in, into the tree. We are the original. They are grafted in as the church, y'all. So the church, he said, don't boast, don't brag about being grafted in. Because just like I ain't spared my own, I sent them through my day of punishment. For 400 years. What more do you think I'll do to you? See, he'll destroy them. He giving us another chance. Because of our ancestors. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The promise he made to them. He made to them personally. He made promises to them. So because of the promises he made, he's giving us another chance, y'all. But with the people of the world, I'm going to tell you what he said about the people of the world. In Isaiah 40 and 15, he said, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the islands as a very little thing. And verse 17, all nations before him are as nothing. They are counted to him less than nothing and vanity, y'all. So you better know, he chose his people out of the earth. And he gave the rest of the people, because of our failure, he gave them a chance to come on through his son, Yeshua. And he called them the church. And then he called them the bride. So come on, y'all. You better know. You better know, okay? So the evangelical church sitting up here talking about replacement theory. No, y'all ain't replacing us. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Y'all cannot replace us. Y'all have, see, our name was taken from us. Our way of life, which they call religion, was taken from us. And it was divided among these Gentiles. You have the Jewish people, saying that they are us. Then you have the church, under Yeshua. They replaced him too. They made him white. They hijacked him just like they hijacked us, y'all. Just like we white today, they white. He's white today too. So they divided our goods into different factions, y'all. Okay? So the church took one part, and that's why you have America, y'all. That's why America is in with this thing with Israel. You wonder, why do America give so much money to Israel, y'all? Because they helped set up the state of Israel. They helped set that up as these people's country. They knew that these people weren't the true people. The people of the world, these leaders of the world know what's what. As I said, they left too many darn clues. They should have erased everything. Psalms 83:3 says that Psalms 83 says that they tried to erase us, erase our name from the land, y'all. But see, they gave our name to another people. And we became hidden while other people were living out our name. So yeah, I expect other people who living out our name to get some of what we getting. The curses of Deuteronomy 28:15-68 is on our name. I expect that to, filter over into them. They say that these people, oh, well, you need some of this butt whooping we getting. You need to be eating some of this bread of adversity that we eat. Too bad you couldn't travel on the waters of affliction like our people did in the bellies of slave ships. Those were the waters of affliction. Being piled into those the bellies of them slave ships like they were, stacked one on top of another. Come on, y'all. And then eating the bread of adversity, being in the furnace of, being in the furnace, in the fiery furnace. We live our lives in the fiery furnace, y'all. We are expected to be the best at whatever we do. Just like that thing at the awards show, with what's his name? I'm looking at him. With Chris Rock and Will Smith. Will Smith going up there making a fool out of all of us. We're expected to do well. It's expected of us not to act up. And when we act up, then it brings all of us down. That is so wrong. When one of them act up, do it bring their whole race down? No. They say, oh, well, he's having a mental breakdown, or he's suffering a little anxiety right now. They try to make it something to do with, he's affected mentally right now. What? But when it comes to us, we just evil, wicked people. And the worst is always assumed of us. That's why we have to always do good. Always. We just can't have a bad day. Oh, no. We don't get that grace. Because we've been pinpointed as an evil, cruel people. Come on, y'all. That's not us. And we are about to be taken out of this situation, y'all. So this is why this world is, this war right now is so important, Because it's showing the world what it's really going to look like when it comes to America, y'all. Because a war is coming to America. Because this thing has to be broken. Yahweh put us in the Gentiles' hands. Now, he has to break this thing so he can take his people up out of this, y'all. Them people of the world can call themselves whomever they want. They can wear our names. They can take our stuff. But Isaiah 60:5 say we're going to get all our wealth back. Isaiah 60:8-10 says we're going to get back home by flying on airplanes and ships. That Yahweh has some nations already set aside for us, y'all, when that day comes and that time comes. Our 400 years are up. Donald Trump signed that bill, House Bill 1242, to let us know. House Bill HR 1242 to let us know and to let the world know. Hey, 400 years is up, y'all. That was in 2019. Look how 2020 came in, y'all. Egyptian plagues. And every year it morphs into something else. Come on, y'all. Or throughout the year, it's morphing. It takes on a whole new, identity. Come on, y'all. You better know we're in the day. We're in the time period where this thing, we coming up out of a thing. See, we at the end of Esau's time. Okay? We're about to go into Jacob's time. The kingdom of righteousness. Because we had to suffer. We had to get out this butt whipping. Yes. We had to take our ancestors' punishment because they chose this for us. They chose to be like everybody in the world when Yahweh say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. We did that and more. So now we are bearing this whipping. We are bearing these atrocities. It is on us. But just like the atrocities are on us, it's about to be on the world, y'all. Jacob's troubles. While he called us up out of this and put us in a place of Goshen, you better know the world finna feel just what we was going through. But it's going to be worse for them. It's going to be just like Ukraine. What's going on in Ukraine? It's coming to America. It's coming to different parts of the earth, y'all. Because he says he was going to visit those who put his children in bondage, y'all. That's Genesis 15. Genesis 15, 12 through 14. He said we were going to come out with great substance, just like our ancestors did at the beginning of this thing when he appointed them their land in the land of Canaan, y'all. When he brought them out of Egypt the first time. And if you don't think this is Egypt, you better go to Deuteronomy 68, Deuteronomy 28 and 68 that says he would send us back in ships. In Egypt, Egypt means bondage. But the New World, America, is also Egypt. It's set up just like Egypt. Do y'all know, I believe that was back in 2015 or 2017, when that earthquake, I think that was when the hurricane, I believe that was Irma, hit. Do y'all know the Mississippi River, the longest river that spans from the top of this country to the bottom of this country, just like the Nile River, y'all? Do y'all know that river flowed one way? But when that hurricane hit, the river flowed the opposite way? That's a sign, y'all. That's a sign, y'all. And do y'all know that this year so much stuff is happening in the heavens? That we're having eclipse? That we're having, it's so much happening to let us know we about to come out of a thing, y'all. We're about to come out. We're at the end of this thing, y'all. Our 400 years is up. It's up. Why you think that these Gentiles are attacking one another now? Putin attacking his own darn people. Even though Ukraine is a separate nation from Russia, you know, from St. Petersburg and all them other places in Russia. They used to be a part of the USSR, one country. And when we had it, it was the lines were drawn differently, but we had more country, more land in different parts. But we used to rule Belarus, Poland, Russia, Switzerland. You can find our coats of arms and our family crests all over them parts, y'all. All over Europe, Germany. We used to rule all that. And here come Hitler and all these other liars that try to say black folks are evil, wicked, that they are the slave people from Canaan. What? Genesis 9 and 25, they just made us those people. What? See, I'm going to tell you how you know that that's a lie. Because the curses and the blessings are only under Shem. And that's who we are. Yahweh said he was going to send us in his day of vengeance for 400 years, y'all. That's in the scriptures. That was not for Ham. Ham and Shem look just alike. That's how Mother Mary and Joseph and baby Yeshua could go to Egypt and hide among the people because they was all the same skin complexion. And we know that Egypt is Mizraim, which is Ham's son. Ham was melanated all day long. He was not albino like Caucasian people are. He was not without melanated skin. So that's how you know that these are lies, y'all. And then if you go to the archaeological museum, who do you see? You see people with hair like this, you know, people with hair that's braided, that's in locks. That's Ishmael. Ishmael's people, they didn't look like no doggone Ottoman Turk. They didn't look mixed breed. They was melanated just like this and had locks or dreadlocks, okay? Our people had braids. They braided their beards back in that day. Y'all, come on. You can see what has happened. See, all knowledge is open now. We're running to and fro throughout the earth, the internet, where we can go and piece together what happened to us, what happened in our past, how these people lied, how these people took on our identity and calling themselves us, and then erasing us out of history, y'all. Saying, oh, black people never accomplished anything. They didn't have nothing. They didn't donate nothing to society. Hey, we the ones who started society. We were the kings and queens. We were the ones who built castles and started civilizations, you know, and communities and set up communities and water systems. And they even had electricity back in the day, y'all. Come on. They had systems that watered their whole, everybody had water back in the day. They had all kinds of stuff that we have now that Gentiles want to charge you an arm and a leg for. Heck, they're trying to charge you for the air that we breathe. So come on, y'all. Everybody had free running water. Everybody had electricity back in the day. This wasn't nothing new. A lot of stuff was shut off, y'all. Now, when the kingdom of righteousness come around, watch and see how we rule. You watch and see how things are so different than the way things are going now. This is a wicked system. You got to pay for everything. This system is built on money. Okay? So you just got to know that the thing that's going on, we at the end. So you can best believe that this is coming to an end very soon. We're living in the time. We are that generation that's going to go into the wilderness of nations. We are that generation. And as I said, you can see how the lies have come forth that these Gentiles have told since the dark ages, since the time of our fall. How they made us the evil people. How they say, oh, anything associated with dark people are evil. And then how they didn't even reinvent the wheel. All they did was take over everything that we did. They assumed our last names. They assumed our castles. Look at those castles. I'm going to show y'all next week. I'm going to bring y'all the castles. I'm going to try to match the kings with their castles. Those black kings with their black castles. Well, not black castles, but the castles that the Moors built. That the black people built. Y'all. And you're going to see. And some of those castles even have their faces, carved in it. Y'all. So those castles that are hundreds of years old, those were ours. We built those. Windsor was ours. Y'all need to wake up to our true identity, to our true history. These people stole. And all they did was assumed the position. They just stepped right into what was going on with us. They moved us out of the way and they stepped right on in to what we had going on. And they assumed these people's identities. That's what happened. See, these colonizers, they went through Africa, cutting up, carving up the continent of Africa. And they pretty much enslaved the people of Ham and Shem, y'all. Had them warring against one another, used their skin colors, their differences against one another, because, we come in all shades. So they use the lighter skin against the darker skin. They use the straighter hair, against the kinky hair, And they caused them to commit genocide among the darker people. They had Ham to commit genocide against Shem. Because we all look alike, y'all. We all melanated people. So this is how this went. An attack has been on our people ever since we failed. When we failed, we caused all black nations to fall. Why do you think Africa don't have no power? They have kings over there ruling. But you have Gentile nations that are over them. They came and took them over. Because when Yahweh's children fell, he caused all the black nations to fall. I guess he said that if we was going to be like them, they was going to get this whooping too. They helped cause us to fall, but it was our fault because we went running after them. So since we had to be like them, they was going to take some of this too. That's why the black nations of Africa don't have no power either, y'all. They can't get up and whoop nobody. Because, see, this is the time of Gentile rule. This is Satan's time to rule in the earth. Now, what they do is follow up behind him, and they allow him to rule through them by committing genocide on Shem and on Yah's children. the people group that he chose out of the world. So come on, y'all. Y'all gotta know this. Y'all gotta know who we are. Y'all. So I've really come to the end of my broadcast for today about what's coming to America, y'all. Y'all need to know that America, she's about to get hers. Because this was a land that the indigenous Indians, who were the 10 northern tribes, who were melanated people, Yahweh's chosen children, he gave this land to them. And the Gentiles came and took it. And now we have Gentile Indians as well. You know, everybody a Gentile that's in position right now. But we're coming to the end of a thing for them. So I'm coming to the end of this broadcast to let you know what's going on. And tomorrow, April 2nd, don't forget, y'all, don't forget, we're going to be in Washington Park on King Drive, actually by Washington Park on King Drive, around 51st.
51st and King Drive.
51st and King Drive for our day to celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King. That was the day of his assassination, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This was about the day of his assassination. We are, holding him up. We're celebrating him. He was our leader. You all show up. We're going to have on our uniform, which is this black jacket with red and green, and this hat, this little cap, MLK 50, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is his 50th anniversary, y'all. 50 years. That's something, y'all. That's something to celebrate. So come on out to Washington Park tomorrow on 51st and King Drive. We're going to start at 12 o'clock. The event starts at 12 o'clock, y'all. Craig Hodges going to be there to speak. Some other people going to be there to speak.
Chairman Fred Hampton Jr.
We what?
Fred Hampton Jr.
Oh, Fred Hampton Jr. will be speaking. I'm going to be there, you all. So come on. We need to, be there to uphold what's good for us. Y'all, we got next. So you all need to know who your people are, and stand up for something. Because if you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. So come on and stand up for our people, for us as a people group. We need some unity. This is one way we can start our unity, y'all. So I'm looking for everybody to come out and to celebrate, and we're going to do this thing, you all. So, we've come to the end of another broadcast, and chew the fat and spit out the bones, teach somebody, share this information that I shared with you all, so that we can all come to the knowledge of who we are as Yahweh's chosen people. He chose us, y'all. We didn't choose him. So we should honor him by choosing him again.
Amen.
Okay? So until next week, I love you all, and you all be blessed. And tomorrow is the Sabbath.
Yeah.
So let's start this Sabbath off right. And don't forget, April 2nd, let's come out and meet at 51st and King Drive, y'all. Shalom.
We are a village. Stay connected to the mothership right here on truthradio.net. And remember to tune in every Friday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. for Eyes Can See with your host, Empress Sharon Eam.